Hello, I am Lamarr Townsend. I am an astrologer as well as a psychic tarot reader. And I would love if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, comment, and share with your friends and family. If you would be interested in a private, confidential psychic tarot reading from me or a birth chart, natal chart reading from me, astrology, birth chart, natal chart reading from me, contact me on my website, lamartownsendtarot.com. Purchase your reading directly from my website. Within 24 hours, I will send you an email confirmation letting you know that I received your payment. And then within 1 to 3 days or sooner, we will get your reading done as soon as possible. That being said, make sure you also check out my social media pages. The link should also be on my website. So I don't want to make this video too long. I want to talk about psychic tarot readings and maybe birth chart readings and what you can expect during them. What, how to word your questions when you get them as well, for first timers, for beginners into this type of thing. All right. I have been a professional psychic tarot reader now for almost 4 years now. Actually, I've been a professional psychic tarot reader since 2016 when I graduated college. That's when I first started my YouTube channel. I've always been into the occult when I was a child, even. I was reading Sylvia Browne books and, stuff like that, And, becoming a professional, into this business, I've learned a thing or two. And I get frequent clients that come to me, and I'm so grateful for this because I think it speaks to a testament of my work and the type of readings that I do and how I conduct my work in my business. Is I get a lot of first time clients, people who come to me who have never gotten a tarot reading before, who have never gotten a psychic reading, who have never experienced a birth chart reading before, and they come to me and they're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I don't even know, what compelled me to purchase this reading. Like, I just like you so much. This stuff just interests me so much. I just felt compelled to buy it. And now what? It's just like, one, a lot of people, are psychics who have websites do tend to put information on their website, such as an FAQ section. They also may put directions, about how they, conduct their process. So always make sure you check a psychic's website and astrologer's website, number one, just to make sure that you haven't missed anything on their website, their about section or their FAQ section, their personal ethics section. By the way, if you are psychic, you should have an FAQ section and a personal ethics section on your website. I do have both on mine, all right, which is a basic synopsis and may cover some questions that people may have about how you conduct your readings and what people can expect, when it comes to your readings. So, that's number one. All right. Number two, trying to figure out where I should start. Let's start with questions. All right. The number one reason you're getting a psychic reading is because you have questions you want answered. It's because you have some things in your life, circumstances, situations in your life that you want insight on, you want clarity on, you want to know what the next direction is, what your purpose is. You want to know, what is the next step to take. You want to know the deep, the answers to the deep questions, right? You want to know the tea, and that's why you get a psychic reading. So when it comes to your questions that you have, number one, the way I do my readings, because so important to remember that not every psychic is the same. Not every tarot reader is the same, and that's the beauty of this business, is that especially on YouTube, there's so many different types of psychic tarot readers out there and astrologers out there who conduct their business in different ways. So understand that as well, is that not every psychic you go to is the same. So don't expect psychic A to follow the same conduct that psychic B does. Psychic A and B may be in two different lanes. They may be in the same industry, but Psychic B could be practicing a certain form of, psychic tarot readings, and Psychic, A could be, doing a totally different form of, psychic tarot readings from Psychic B, or it may come from a different background. So keep that in mind as well. I myself come from a religious background. I grew up Christian, Pentecostal, Baptist, growing up in the church. I do tend to use the Bible still for a lot of my spells. I'll use the Psalms and stuff like that that I do. I mainly do candle magic, but I explain all of this on my website, literally. And that's the kind of background that I come from. I'm a very spiritual, psychic tarot reader. I'm into crystals, I'm into plants, holistic, the medicine, the herbs, the whole nine. But once again, this is all explained on my website. So the way I conduct my readings is that I prefer to have my clients have questions already kind of that well thought out, and ask me them during the reading. All right. So typically, how I do my readings is I do prefer to get a brief synopsis of your current situation, just so because you kind of have to think like some people think that you go into a psychic reading and the psychic is supposed to pick up on every little specific detail that they can pick up on about your situation, but it does benefit a lot of the times for you to help the psychic out a bit and explain your situation. So number one, it is always good to kind of go into a psychic tarot reading, especially if you're a beginner, with a brief synopsis of your situation, especially especially focusing on the things in your life, the circumstances, situations in your life that you need insight and clarity on, that you are going to the psychic and asking them questions about. So, for example, if you have a situation in your life that deals with love and you want answers on love and you know maybe will you and your partner stay together, don't tell the psychic about your life story growing up in Michigan or overseas. The psychic, that's maybe an important part of the piece of the puzzle, but the psychic much more benefits knowing from the current situation going on in your love life. Does that make sense? So try to go into the situation giving the psychic a brief update on what's going on in your life so that they have a point of reference. All right, like it's always good to give a psychic a point of reference. It also does relate to giving the psychic your birth date, your birth month, so they can know your zodiac sign and know your birth chart. So because that plays a lot into the cards. Sometimes when the cards come out, the cards speak to different elements. For example, I'll show you the cards I have right now. I just did a reading literally before I got on this video. This speaks to the water element. So this could be a water sign, all right? Or this could be someone with water in their birth chart, right? This card, this card may speak to the fire element, all right? Queen of Wands, specifically maybe a woman, all right? Which is why it's important to know the gender, your gender, the gender of the person you're asking about, or the people you're asking about. That type of information does give a psychic a point of reference. It helps you out, and it helps the reader out. Because what you don't want is you don't want wasted time. Because typically a lot of readers charge by the time, all right? So that's a normal thing for readers that charge, that are professional and that charge for readings, is that they typically charge by the time. They have a set rate maybe, or they charge by specific hours, something like that. That's typical in this industry. So, but help the psychic out. Don't be afraid to help the psychic out. Give the psychic information about you. Tell them a little bit about, your situation and what's going on so they have a point of reference. Give them your birth date, month, year. Maybe, let them, look into your birth chart as well so that they have a point of reference going into the situation. It's almost like asking someone to take a test but not giving them time or a study guide to study first for. It's like like you have to help the psychic out a bit. So okay, from there, all right, we kind of gotten a point of reference. You want to have questions prepared. Not every psychic is the same. Sometimes you can go into a psychic reading and not have any questions. Your psychic can read you from A to Z and tell you everything you need to know. Not in all cases, not everyone is that precise, and sometimes the psychic may pick up on things that are irrelevant to your situation, that may be relevant but aren't necessarily relevant. So you want to save time when it comes to a psychic reading, and psychics can sometimes con you out of time by, focusing on irrelevant things and stuff like that, or you are using time up, so just be mindful of that. So that's why you want to you want to kind of be the one in control of the reading by having your questions, prepared. Now keep in mind that sometimes when you ask a question and the psychic answers, Depending on the answer to your question, another question may stem from that question. All right, so in that same frame, you want to be mindful of time. If you know that what you're asking about or the questions you're asking are really deep and may have certain layers and interlayers that may stem more questions that need to be asked, you may want to ask for more time in just a 20-minute 30-minute reading. All right, and some psychics may be really cool with letting you add on time or stuff like that, but it's always more professional to kind of know the time intuitively that you need and pick it. All right, it's like it's a very kind of, it's the professional way, I guess. It's like you kind of, the professional way to go into this is knowing what you want, knowing why you're going to the psychic, and sticking to that script. And sometimes you do ad lib, you do go off the script a bit, but it all tends to play into the bigger picture. All right, so let me go focus. All right, so you want to go into a psychic reading asking questions, keeping in mind that sometimes the questions you ask may, have other questions that that stem from it, depending on the answers you get. Now, the way you word your questions are really, really important when it comes to psychic readings, and listen up for people who are new. When it comes to psychic readings, you want to ask your questions and word your questions in a way that you get the maximum result. For example, if you have a partner and you're trying to figure out if you will stay together, uh, you know, depending on your circumstance, it may not benefit you right away to ask, "Will we stay together?" It may benefit you more maybe to ask, "What's keeping us apart? What is blocking us from reaching our highest potential as partners? Is my partner going through something? You know, um, and if they're going through something, what can I do to help them?" Keep in mind that you don't want to ask too many questions as well, depending on, because the way I do readings is I also do phone readings, but I also do email readings as well as video recorded readings where you send me your questions and then I record me doing the reading, and email you the video, right? So you don't want to ask too many questions because sometimes the psychic may not get to all your answers, right? But you want to be mindful of the way you word your questions. Instead of asking, "Will I be successful?" Maybe ask, "What's stopping me from being successful? When will I be successful? If I do this, I'm thinking about doing this when it comes to my business. Will this help me be more successful if I do this?" You really want to get the most out of your questions. Um, when it comes to other people, for example, like, what's something that people often do? It's like you want to like you really want to get the full scope of a situation when you get a psychic reading, all right? So when it comes to people, what does this person feel about me? Does this person reciprocate instead of what this person feels about me is what I get a lot. Maybe, what does this person reciprocate my feelings that I have for them? You know, um, if this person doesn't reciprocate my feelings that I have for them, how do I move on? What can I do to move on? What can I do? Is there anything I can do? If there's nothing I can do, how can I move on? You know, um, when you get a psychic tarot reading, you have to be okay with the answers that you get, and sometimes we're not okay with the answers that we get. Of course, like I sometimes, with my trusted friend psychics who I go to, like I'm like, I'm not okay with that answer, but I accept it. Like, you have to, go into a reading being open minded and being prepared for the answers that you get, even if they're not the answers that you want. All right. One other thing is that it's good to always keep a pen or something where you can record what the psychic is saying so that you can remember. All right. Sometimes you can ask, even, if you can record, the Skype conversation, or I guess maybe the phone conversation that the psychic and you are having, although that may be a little bit weird. I don't know. Some psychics may be cool with that, some may not, but the more professional thing to do would be to kind of keep your own pen and paper, have your laptop ready or something like that, and just type in notes as the psychic, answers your questions as you go along. Now, general readings. Oh, the lovely general readings. General readings are fine. I have nothing against them. Many people come to me for general readings, and my clients always tend to get a lot out of them. They always leave, getting something out of them that they didn't know coming in, or that enlightens them, or something like that. But sometimes general readings are just that, very, very general. All right. So it's always important that even if you do want a general reading, to maybe have certain areas, it always helps to, give a psychic a point of reference. All right. If there's anything I can tell you from this video, is to give your psychic a point of reference. If you're getting a general reading, give the psychic a point of reference in terms of where you want them to focus on. I want a general reading, but I want a general reading focused on my love life or my money or my relationship dynamic with my family member or my mom or my husband, wife, daughter, sister, cousin, brother, baby mama, my boyfriend's baby mama, whatever your situation is, like have a focal point, have a point of reference for the psychic. Help the psychic out if you're asking about someone else, if you don't know their birthday month that they were born, if you're not a stalker, all right, like some of us, then if you know their zodiac sign, let the psychic know. Um, but you don't have to give the psychic too much information. Don't give them a paragraph, all right? Like, make it brief, make it concise. Only give them the most important bits, all right? That's what you want to give the psychic. Always have your questions prepared before you get into the reading. And word your questions carefully so that you get the maximum results, the maximum impact in your answers, all right? So that you leave the reading feeling like you got your money's worth, but also feeling like you got what you came for. All right. I hope I helped someone out in this video. I hope I helped to explain a little bit about the process of readings. When it comes to questions that you have after the reading is done, typically the professional widely accepted thing to do is to just, get another reading. Some psychics do, give you their free time afterwards, maybe answer some clarifying questions. Most don't because they have other clients to tend to, they have other business to tend to, and like I said, a lot of times questions, and answers to questions, stem other questions. So, psychics really are, people who are just very mindful of their time. They do tend to charge for their time. So just be mindful of that. It's a business that is, it's a time-based business. It's a time-based business, and you want to make sure that you get the most for your time. All right. And I'm just helping you get the most for your time in this video. I hope I did help you get that. I hope I once again helped to explain the process of readings. I hope I got to explain the process of my readings a bit as well, and what to expect when you get a reading from me. And also when it comes to astrology birth, you can apply this to astrology birth chart readings as well. If you have questions when it comes to your birth chart, ask them to your astrologer. It's the same thing there as well. Be descriptive when it comes to certain situations in your life that you need insider clarity on. I'm struggling with my career. I don't know what my purpose is in my career. I'm getting this birth chart reading in hopes that you will give me insight. Currently, I'm doing this and that. I've always wanted to do this, but it just never happened. Hopefully, you can give me some guidance. Thanks. It's that simple. All right. This is an industry of time. It's like, time is money, literally. All right. I love you all. See you in the next video. If you want a personal reading, I'm so sorry this was long. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, comment, and share. Contact me for a reading on my website, lamarr.townsendtarot.com. Purchase your reading directly from my website. I'll send you an email confirmation within 24 hours after you send your payment, and then we'll get your reading done same day, within 1 to 3 days, or sooner. All right. Typically sooner than 2 to 3 days. Love and light, God bless and no stress. Follow me on my social media, Lamarr Townsend Tarot on Instagram and Facebook. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video. Or I'll see you for your own personal reading. God bless and no stress, and don't be a stranger.